all those people in handle from the chairman of any local government. Go what village head, work even the clan head and the whatever head local government. But I apply
We break down the politics behind the promises and measure the impact on real communities.
And then the duty of the council chairman. Funds at the disposal of this council chairman for them to embark on such projects.
And do the council chairman know their responsibilities?
And do they even know their responsibilities?
Because if they know their responsibilities, first they will demand that they be given funds.
If you want to understand your day, start it here. This is the Super Breakfast Show on xl1069 FM. Good morning, Nigeria. Akwa Ibom State, Emesiere. Welcome to a new day. It is Tuesday, day 12. And of course, we're in the month of May. By the way, we're doing May so fast already. We'd almost divide them now. Either way, we're grateful for a new day. And we're back on the Super Breakfast Show. IJ is my name. And of course, I've got Okodi right here on the show today. We've got a handful to bite on, as presented to us by the papers, the indigenous and of course the national dailies. But before then, Okodi, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, IG. Good morning, Akwa Ibom. Good morning, Nigeria. It's good to be back on your radio again.
No doubt. Well, many questions on the papers this morning, including one asked by Amechi: where is the money from fuel subsidy removal?
Amechi is coming late, if you ask me. We've been asking this question since 2023, late 2023, early 2024.
Is he just feeling the impact of the hardship?
He started saying he was hungry last year, so he just started being hungry last year. Nigerians has been hungry for
long time coming.
Longest time. So 2024, the president said, fuel subsidy money that was removed has been added to governors. So governors wet the ground. So, the president is shifting it to the governors, saying governors now have the bulk of the subsidy money. Wet the ground, make your citizens feel it. So perhaps we shift from the president to asking the governors, where is the subsidy money that the president added?
More like
and
it.
Ask the local government chairman as well, where is the subsidy money that the president added to you?
Indeed.
So when Amechi asks that, we understand he's a politician. He wants the presidential ticket. He wants to be president. So he will say all of those politicking. He's coming late. We've been here agitating and asking all the right questions. And we're not going to leave. We are here for the long haul.
Indeed. Well, there's been some counter-argument from some government officials who have said, look at increased allocations, right? Some are arguing that removing the fuel subsidy stopped unsustainable borrowing, and that as of early 2025, the NNPC began remitting 50% of crude oil revenues, to the Federation account, which has in turn resulted in increased monthly disbursement to state and local government areas, right? So now you see the bearing for the question now translating to the sub-nationals and of course the local government areas. But it's just one of the many questions on the papers today. Let's dig in to the local tabloids. Before then, you should know you can be part of a conversation virtually on Facebook at xl1069.fm and of course on YouTube at xl1069fm. Don't forget, you get the phone numbers handed to you shortly, so you can be part of the conversation. Akwa Ibom State, come closer now. Let's pick up the Ice Portal newspaper. Lead story here: Dasak graduate abandoned without starter kits roam the streets. Sounds a little too extreme, but it's on the papers, right? Dasak graduate abandoned without starter kits roam the streets. Are they really roaming the streets, though? Are they?
Well, it's been a lot of quiet. Recall, I think the last time we had the conversation on this station was in the Citizen Center, where it's Tuesday, of course. I'm sure that the Parliament on radio will talk about it this evening again. But they took a trip to the SAC and they had conversations. And some questions were left unanswered. And the government kept saying that all was ready. We have had that collaboration with the University of Lagos, and the students who were admitted there, the trainings were ongoing and they graduated, but now the paper says they're roaming the streets. But if you think about it again, with the level of unemployment in Akwa Ibom, skills acquisition is not a problem, though it is a problem. But if you wage it side by side with the unemployment rate in Akwa Ibom State, skills is not a problem. It is the availability of jobs that is a problem. We're not talking white collar jobs, because of course skills, unless it's tech skills, and tech skills don't even really apply to white collar jobs,
right,
or blue collar. All right, but availability, making the space, opening up the space. We have multinationals that are working, that doing business in the Akwa Ibom State. How many of them have opportunities for the kinds of skills that these guys have acquired at the SAC? On the other hand, what opportunities are the government, or is the government gathering for these guys? Back in the day, my father used to say, and I have some big friends of mine that used to say, look, you only needed to graduate from any institution.
Exactly.
If you make it to the top 3 or top 5 or top 10, depending on your cadre, what companies want, they line up at graduation and then have you join them on a platter. They literally beg you to join them. And our fathers and forefathers they had pleasure, in turning down some of these organizations so they can just be their own bosses and live life on their terms. We don't have that anymore. So if Nigeria were still Nigeria, which I hope that government should be sensitive enough to plan in that direction. You are training students, no doubt. Kudos to on that. But after the training, what next? It's just like having people, entrepreneurs, gathering them and training them and equipping them, or maybe train them and you don't equip them. After the training, what next? You give them 200,000, 500,000 naira. With the way the economy is, before the money gets home, it don't break, So you set them up for businesses. You set them up for jobs. So you've trained so people. Are you in talks with Seplat? Are you in talks with the oil companies operating here? What is the quota? Back in the day, we used to hear that Mobile used to say that, hey, we don't have Akwa Ibom people that meets the standard that they need. Yeah, so give us people. Now we have the skills. Our people have made the skill set. What are the available jobs? Where are the available jobs for them?
When you see a headline like this one on the papers, trust me, it is not looking good when you put that side by side with the words we had right when we started off this initiative. It was, look, we want to make sure that we can get people to practice what they are trained on right here at the SAC, right? And last time we had a conversation of this sort was sometime last year as well. And of course, some pioneer graduates came out to have a bit or two to say about lack of starter, kits and some allowances here and there. But we trust and want to believe that the government gets to see this through, look into these concerns as raised this morning on the ICE Portal newspaper. It isn't looking good, I tell you. Zaribom chairman thanks Governor Mono for road and school projects. Okay. It's well. Accord, safest platform for 2027 aspirants in Akwa Ibom. That's according to the state chairman. All right, it's the ICE Portal. Well, this particular headline raises a concern that a number of political pundits have also had a bite on, and that is regarding, in quote, the stance of the opposition parties, some opposition parties in Akwa Ibom State and Nigeria at large. But for the sake of this headline, we're situated at home. we have a pattern where in the road to elections, you have political parties that hitherto, right, merely have, some motion, as it were. Sometimes you tend to forget that these political parties exist. But you have periods like this, a year to elections, some months to elections. They're up and running. And you now think of what, constitutionally speaking, what the political parties are there for, and then ideologically speaking, they are there to wrestle power automatically. So how do you do that, or how do you expect a ruling party to not remain relevant, right, when you have a number of opposition parties after the elections just go back and rest on their oars until the next elections? How do we really, dig out this system of democracy? We have calls about, stop oppressing the opposition parties, when a number of the opposition parties are not necessarily actively involved in the system, in the democracy in which they are clamoring for. How do we reconcile that?
There are just a few people. So I saw online a video of the publicity secretary of the PDP, a street lawyer. So it was online, and the video. I saw the video yesterday. I can't remember when he posted it. And he sang a Sultan song.
Okay.
And said, when we ask our government when they will give us light, they say now 2010. And Sultan went to God blessed memory, went on to say 2010 don't go. And then when he thinks about the fact that 2010 is far gone, nothing has changed, and he imagines himself continuing to protest, and then the people that protested before him have fallen behind, and now looking for what to eat. You now think about your life and say, man, am I sure that this protest that I'm doing, this agitation will pay off? And then you think for yourself, and you go soft. I tell you, people who are in that category now that are eating from the government, Festus Keyamo number one. A Festus Keyamo that dragged a Tinubu at the time, since his days as governor of Lagos State, dragged him to the gutters every other time. I have a backstory that he used to go as far as paying for space and begging for newspapers and magazines to give him space to criticize the then government. Today, he's singing the praises of the same person who he used to criticize at the time. What has happened? Is it age? Is it responsibility? Or is it the sheer quest for recognition and on maybe personal achievement? So you look at your life and say, man, I'm 40, or I'm 45, or I'm 50. What have I really achieved for myself? I know that sometimes it is better to fight from within. So you get into the corridor and you can help shape the polity, right? But there's a thin line between fighting from within and getting subsumed, getting sucked in by the system, which is where we fail to see the line. Now, where the opposition parties, how come they don't sustain after elections? They go back and because we have a forum. There are two forums. We have the CUPP.
Okay.
So they call the something of Union of Political Parties.
Yeah.
And then we have the IPAC, Inter-Party Advisory Council. These are conglomeration of political parties where they get to meet. Coalition
of United Political Parties.
All right, that's the UPP. Now, it is very easy because you have the party in power represented on these two platforms. So if I have to form a quorum, if I have to share thought, if I have to pass or seek a consensus, where do I seek it? I am leading. I'm the political party in power. I belong to these two organizations. We meet on a monthly basis. I table my position. Not saying anything, but I put money under the table. I make promises to the leaders of the party. And everybody goes home happy. So the voice where you're supposed to get the shout. For some people, you look at it, oh, I've been in this political journey for a long time and no payment.
Nothing really come outside.
So you think about it, okay, some people, Nigeria doesn't really give you an opportunity or an option to decide whether or not to fight to the end or whether or not to compromise. That's why it's easy for a lot of people to chicken out. And the human mind is predominantly greedy.
You think these coalitions, these groups are not necessarily helping the fight for political parties and, their independence, really?
No. They're very independent. I'm just saying that the opposition parties dine and wine with the party in power. It is really difficult to blur the lines. It's there.
Isn't that a paradox?
It's quiet. It's there and it's quiet. They have disagreements, of course. And so what makes you think that why do you have some political stalwarts come up to say that, oh, you are fighting over these guys? They are friends. When they come on TV and balkanize themselves, they go backstage and share thoughts of liquor. They have the happy hour amongst themselves and they laugh and they plot the next. They plan the next plot. They come out and act the film for you and you jump on it and you wound yourself while they're enjoying backstage. They fly around the world and they meet and they chill. You are not there. Why do you think the big men from amongst them are the ones that say these things?
Could that be why they're called political actors, though?
Well,
the ice bottle is where we are this morning.
Well,
2027, Idorian Raphael backs APC consensus. Routes for Tinubu, Akpabio, and Eno. An international flight gives Ibom Air global reckoning. TUC chairman is saying so. School community extol Blue Way Ocean Foundation for water cistern toilets. All right. AU Soyo residents protest planned army barracks, cites displacement fears. MOME funds, poor accountability sparks outrage. Ines Reket, stakeholders issue 7-day ultimatum. 2027 election. Ines stakeholders adopt Ukbondo Udoide as sole candidate. Get details on the ICE Portal newspaper. Quick Voice leads with that question. Hardship. Where is the money from fuel subsidy removal? Amechi questions federal government. He says that there ought to be evidence. Right? There ought to be things that you can point to and say, look, this is the aftermath of that statement that was made. But you ask again, are there really nothing? No, visible developments to show in that regard. Right? Get details in the Quick Voice newspaper. Akwa Ibom APC screening drama. How will minors secretly smuggle screening panel to government house? Lies from the pit of hell. So, a rebuttal from the press secretary in this regard as well, of the APC rather, here in the state. Quick Voice has details of that story. CNG, Ekbo reaffirms Nigeria's commitment to cooperation with Egypt. ABAC stakeholders commend Minister of Petroleum, Gas, over job creation and empowerment. Senator Adams Oshomole praises Akpabio's leadership style, says it attracts opposition to APC. Fubara Wike distances himself from Rivers APC. It's on the Quick Voice newspaper this morning. There's been a whole lot in that particular area.
Wike has been a very good actor. He's been a very good actor. Well, on one hand, he says he's supporting the Rainbow Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
The Rainbow Coalition means whatever colors you're flying, whatever party you belong to, it's a melting pot. You have a voice there. Another name for Akwa Ibom United, that we have down here, and you have on Sunday, you had a PDP lawmaker in the Federal House of Representatives jump in all of a sudden, appeared, to appeared at the screening.
Some say Nicodemously.
Yes. So how come someone flying the flag or the colors of the PDP appear at the governorship screening for an APC gubernatorial aspirants? What's going on here? And we understand that the big man was at the house of the Oga at the top,
right?
Begging for access. And
I know they're going anywhere.
Yes. So
the Oga they rest. Say no, I no go.
And then finally got the nod, and Nigeria happened, and that appearance happened. So you have two of his boys appear before the APC screening committee for governorship aspirants in Rivers State.
Right.
Two of them, one an APC man, the Chinda, yes, that's Kingsley Chinda, the rep member, and the other one, Alabo George Kelly. This is the same person that news broke 2 weeks ago that he endorsed the man for the office of the governor. And all of a sudden, he held a press conference and said, I never endorsed anyone. We have to meet with the Rainbow Coalition. Who is the Rainbow Coalition? You. Who do you want to meet with? You, yourself, and yours. And when you're done, you make the decision. I mean, you just need to make that decision, and everybody follows through. Whatever it is that makes him have that cult following, I give it to him. He is a good politician. And he says it. We play politics for a living. If you know, Sabi, you're never ready for politics, don't turn up and don't bite this finger. You're going to get it hurt. We're also hearing stories that Fubara didn't get screened. Some of his aides. I spoke with one of his aides yesterday. He was supposed to join us here, but he was on transit at the time, so he couldn't. I'm hoping that he gets to give us some clarification on that. That Fubara went into the hall. He was told to take a bow, just write his name, his details, take a bow, and go. Does that mean that he has the automatic ticket? The APC national chairman had said no automatic tickets. The the Progressives Governors Forum had said Fubara is our own, and he is the leader of the APC in Rivers State. So we are seeing different stories from different angles, and we know that the two opposition aspirants have been screened. The controversy now is whether Fubara has been screened. But I'd like to work with the majority on that side. So the APC spokesman in Rivers State was on TV yesterday, and he was asked what's going on. He said, well, he couldn't say whether Fubara was screened or not. He is the spokesperson of the party here in Rivers State, and not part of the committee that's screened. So there's a lot going on.
Interesting.
And it sounds like someone is gatekeeping Fubara. Of course, he's been gatekept for a long time, but the gatekeeping is becoming more glaring now. Exactly.
Now we also hear, as it regards the screening of House of Assembly, members there in Rivers State too. The committee chaired by Honorable Boraina Ajibola did recommend the disqualification of 65
all of them
aspirants that are loyal to Governor Fubara.
All of them.
And
all
of course, Tonya Cole. And of course, we saw the clearance of the 33 aspirants that are loyal to the FCT minister, who are now set to go to the primaries.
So these are the things that fuel those rumors and talks.
You ask deeper, why were they disqualified, 65 of them? There are reasons, including inducement and attempted bribery of committee members, submission of unsworn affidavits, failure to present voter cards, failure to present party membership slips or card, conflicting date of birth.
Do you believe that?
For benefit of doubt, right? Invalid affidavit that failed to disclose material particulars relating to NECO certificate, insufficient nominators with required numbers. That it feels heavy the more I go down the list, So you can imagine someone who says, I want to be at the House of Assembly, and you go ahead to make moves to induce, to bribe the committee members, right? You don't come with your voter card. I don't know whether it is because you don't have it or You just chose not to bring it to the meeting?
No, but let's interrogate it.
That's the question there.
Is it possible that someone, a politician,
exactly,
that even if it's a technocrat or members of the commissioners, Fubara played the fast one, went for people who have a little or no background in politics, and appointed them to commissioners. So is it possible that you're of age? Yes, Nigeria is not what we want it to be, but is it possible that you wouldn't have a voter card? Is it very possible? Recall the elections for local government elections. It was members of another party, not the PDP, not the APC, that won sweepingly that same election that the courts nullified. Remember that.
And they were congratulated by the government.
So do you imagine that the people that Fubara would nominate, to go for screening for House of Assembly will not have voter cards, will not have correct date of birth? It's possible, though. Anything could happen.
Think about it.
But looking at it, there is a lot more than meets the eyes.
They say the more you look.
And I don't also know where they publish the results of the screening. It will be difficult for me to comment. Even if they do, why would I comment? I don't know the reasons they have. So of course our own party will soon start their screening today, tomorrow. So that is where you should ask me question. What pertains to me, not what does not concern me. So that's what I want to say.
No, I asked because it's your godson.
Yeah, we're not in the same party. So what do you want me to do? He has not reported to me that there's any problem. I'm not a native doctor, neither am I a prophet to go and begin to have seen something somewhere, no. So I don't have any role to play.
He says he has no role to play in whatever transpired.
He's a proper grand puppeteer. He's pulling the strings perfectly.
Okay,
it's working. I'm really sad for Fubara, though. I say time and again, he is a knight.
Well,
and you would expect that as a knight, he has the trainings to beat wars and circumstances and challenges and come out
strategically.
Well, but it's failing, though.
Oh, some people have gone as far as questioning even his motive in the first place to join the APC. We'll talk about that shortly.
106.9 powered to XL.
Madam, please move this car.
My steering is stiff. I think my oil is bad.
What? Haven't you heard of Ibeto Lubricants and Engine Oil?
Ibeto Lubricants?
Ibeto Petrochemical Industries Limited, a member of the Ibeto Group, experts in blending, marketing, and sale of top quality lubricants and engine oil. The company is ISO certified. The products are Espresso Super Turbo 0W40, Espresso Super Ultra 5W30 for brand new engines, Espresso Super Plus 15W40, and Espresso Super 20W50 for petrol engines, Beta Super Plus 15W40 for diesel engine, automotive gear oil, industrial gear oil, marine engine oil, hydraulic oil, compressor oil, ATF, and two-stroke engine oils, and lots more.
All their products are MANCAP certified.
Ibeto engine oil and lubricants are dependable to the last drop. Keep your engine in good shape. Insist on Ibeto oil and lubricants.
Nigeria has gone digital. Don't get left behind. Join millions already enjoying the benefits of digital television. With free TV, you get over 100 crystal clear channels for movies, sports, and news. All with zero monthly subscription. Just use any free-to-air decoder, point your dish to Nigecomsat, or stream live on the Free TV NG mobile app. This message is from the National Broadcasting Commission. Don't wait for your signal to go off. Switch to digital TV today.
Live from the heart of Uyo.
All right, let's hear it.
This is the Super Breakfast Show
On XL 106.9 FM.
106.9 FM.
Welcome back at Kaibam State. The newspaper headlines here on XL Super Breakfast Show. IG is my name. Okodio Code is right here now. And it's time for you to be part of a conversation. This time with your reactions and your community report. Right? That major concern that has been plaguing your community, your vicinity, your local government area, right? Maybe in this case, your state. That depends on where you're listening from. Either way, you're welcome to share with us on Facebook at xl1069fm and on WhatsApp now. Send a voice note or a text to 0809 333 1069. That is 0809 333 1069. Or you can call us right away at 0700 000 1069. That is 0700 000 1069. You can also call 0809 222 1069 in case you are listening from the diaspora. You can also be part of a conversation. Leave a comment on YouTube. We'll take them at xl1069fm on YouTube. That is xl1069fm. We'll take all of them. Please make sure that you keep your comments civil and straight to the point. All right. Just before then, quickly on the Creek Voice newspaper, council chairman received new INEC electoral officer. Calls for enhanced collaboration between INEC and the council. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Mr. Okodi.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. IG. Salas.
Welcome.
Thanks for your good work. I want to, talk about the issue that was actually, deliberated yesterday. I tried calling, but I couldn't make it that yesterday. It's a pressing issue that has to do with the local government funds and their chairman in the council. Asking the people to come and bribe them for something that should be, made known without being compelled. It's a very sad situation. So when I had it yesterday, I began to ask myself certain questions. Don't we have some, civil, liberty organizations? Don't we have human rights lawyers? Don't we have youth that their heads are not shaking? I'm not talking about youth that are compromised because of politics. So I don't even really understand why politicians have taken a decision to bury the future of the people of Akwa Ibom State. This drama actually started during the last administration of Udom Emmanuel. There was a day the Governor Udom, addressed the local government chairman in Eket in the presence of the fathers of the land, talking about the traditional rulers. And he was telling them, say no, I was privileged to also talk about the following day after that incident. Why are we facing what we are facing in Akwa Ibom State, for God's sake? Why? These are the issues that, at least with this, the people of Akwa Ibom should be able to march to those local government secretaries and bring them out. They should be on their knees to withdraw such statements. So what we are facing in Akwa Ibom State is a deliberate act. That's why I've been telling people, when people will be coming out to say, federal government. No. I'm not giving the federal government 100%. But over 80-something% of hardship of Akwa Ibom is caused by the state government.
All right.
Why?
All right. Thank you very much. He's reacting to a story that has had a lot of people talking. We had a bite in that one yesterday, right here on the newspaper headlines, right? And of course, that has to do with the Federal High Court here. You're granting 2 lawyers leave to commence judicial review proceedings against the 31 local government councils here in the state over alleged refusal to release public records as requested under the Freedom of Information Act. The applicants, who are Akaniene and Archibong, Akaniene rather and Edidiong, are the ones who are seeking court orders that will compel the councils to disclose the records relating to public spending, to subsidy programs, to policy documents, licenses and approvals that were issued by the councils from November 2024 till date. And we understand that they are also challenging the demand by the councils in Esreket, Ibesikbo Sultan, and Orongo for 500,000 naira demand each as production fees for the requested document. Right? That the mainstay of that particular report this morning. On the Creek Voice newspaper, there's a headline here that says, party decision, Idoroyan Raphael withdraws from 2027 E2 Ibionibum federal constituency race. There's been a lot that has not been said in that regard.
There's not much to say in that regard. It is what it is. The pictures that flooded the social media space the other day is enough to say. In that picture, over 13 National Assembly members, only 12 made it, and one person, we understand, was dropped. The rest returned, were endorsed to return unopposed. Since that meeting, we've also seen a series of meetings after meetings in different corners of the state endorsing the people, or one of the people, or some of the people that were seen in those photos, both at the National Assembly and the State Assembly. So what happened in the Bionibo Me2 federal constituency case, Dorian Raphael had interest, but we understand, like the paper says, he has humbled himself, accepted the party decision. That's politics, party supreme. But I understand that the governor had called him. His Excellency the governor had reached out and told, look, many agreement, you go back and take up your appointment, because he had resigned from his position as aide on market matters. So go back, take up your appointment, let's work something out. Recall again, the governor had said, let us
read the room.
Yes, read the room. No go overdo before something go do you where you know like make it do you. So you can't really blame him. He had to fall to superior argument.
All right. Well, let's look at the mail. There is another one here that says, tension in Esreket as leaders of thought set to petition EFCC, ICPC against Moimi reps, issues 7 days ultimatum for accountability. Uncertainty grips Unio dental student over non-accreditation crisis. All right. Advancing healthcare. Oregon Legislative Council, Lord's Health Commissioner, Governor, Well, let's quickly get a comment or few on Facebook. Quickly, let's see who is right here. Dr. Mrs. Olibaro from where he says, according to Reverend John Ode, blessed are those who grumble in the safety of their homes but cannot voice out publicly against a leadership that has entirely proved to be a curse to the people, for nobody will disturb them and they will have peace of graveyard. We in Nigeria have allowed evil to soar to high heavens and even, She says, how can Nigerians be clamoring for cut down of high cost of governance and our leaders are living flamboyantly while the people live in abject poverty? And concludes by saying we must get it right in 2027. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your comment this morning, Maolibar. All right. We'll quickly get your text on WhatsApp, but before then, you should know we're taking your community report as well. All right. So you can send a video of that road you've been talking about for some time now. I hear a handful of more communities in Akwa Ibom State now are getting more street lights, solar powered street lights precisely. All right, and maybe you want to talk about it too. Let's get to hear from you this morning. 0809 333 1069. Good morning to you.
Morning, Tom.
What's your name?
My name is Elder.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Let me start with my community. Please, I want my governor to go and do my primary school from Ika in Ika, Ward 11. All the primary schools in that side is not good. Apart from Ika primary school, shared with secondary school. Atawabia primary school is not good. Obarija to Ikoro Paramega is not good. Oika primary school is not good. And Ikoro primary school is not good. Please, I want my government to listen to me and listen before the road. They say before 2027 election, you will finish the road.
All right.
Please, my governor, listen to me. Thank you. God bless.
All right.
Direct primaries. A man who can go every day will get him. But I will ensure that that place is safe for everybody. I will not allow you bring doubts into that place. I will ensure that I will be the one qualified if we get on that place. That's my job as governor, to provide security. And that I promise you I will do. So that the man who could get in, I will get in King Many. Man could get in for you, take it. But after a man, no get in. Don't come back to me and say, settle me. Because you have gone the whole rock and don't throw. Because this thing shouldn't bring problems. By now, Kid Excellence primaries in them. Oh, we will primaries area. Kid primary in them. So, zero far for the young. I forgot we are my team time to okay. Maybe in Ambia. Anyway, you know. I want to come before we can know this time. But what we can, couldn't care about somebody from me. Me don't go. My days are here, me keep on going on. Kayan Wakaite, Mfen, you know, if you don't get them. So, oh, yeah, now you so, Mbo. No, I don't. I am for bed to Ida, maybe on your uniform. Even you don't draw. Preferring to win it to your guest room form. I uniforce you, a guy you want to go. I was ready on
All right, tonight the voice of the governor re-emphasizing a statement he had made even before the recent, what is it called now, May prayer meeting, right?
Yeah.
He had made similar statements before today, and that was the one you heard him say, Good form group, aggrieved aspirants. So now he said it again. So maybe, just maybe, it's one of the reasons you see the headline you see this morning.
So that meeting and the pictures happened before the May prayer
meeting. That's right.
And the governor had come out after the pictures flooded the internet and said, my hand, my legs are not there. That he only led the lawmakers to pay a courtesy visit to the Senate president. That's in the same breath. But the governor had before now said that he has an agreement with these lawmakers. All right? So, is there something that we are missing, or is there something that His Excellency is missing? Because he returned from that denial only to sing it again at the May prayer meeting, saying, look, for shutdown. That is what happened to Dorian Raphael, and a dozen other people. Now, if you take a look, it looks like the governor has something to hide, or maybe he's afraid of looking at Akwa Ibom people in the face and telling them, this is what I said, I stand by it. You know, like grown men would say, I stand by it, what I said. I said it, I stand by it.
What could it be, though?
Well, the governor made a statement that he has an agreement with people and is moving into the APC with these people.
Is that not enough?
He came back and said the agreement subsists, and when he makes an agreement, he doesn't renege on it. He's a man of his words. The king's word does not fall to the ground, and all that, and all that, and all that.
Right.
They went to that meeting, pictures came out, and the little bird said this agreement was solid. And by the way, the little bird also said that the nomination forms were available as at the time of that meeting, but were only withheld. The governor was there. Those conversations were held.
The parties with interest.
So why did the governor come out to deny? And shortly after denying, he now said this thing that we just played again. At the May, just about 15 days ago. Today is day 12, just about 12 days ago. He came out and denied.
That's the governor. And he said that, look, I'm going to ensure that the primaries are safe, are secure, right? By that, if you are planning any form of disruption, and you have to think twice. I think the other person who has spoken about that has been the national chairman of the APC. Yuwadas also said, look, if you are a politician, do not, or you should dispel any plans you have to bring violence to the party primaries. So, could it be another, signposting by the governor as he continues to warn again and again?
So, you're doing Raphael at Sanayak. A lot of people at Sanayak. The deputy speaker in the House of Assembly, like Akwa Ibom, had Sanayak. Who else? Sanayak. A lot of people have been done Sanayak.
Party
so
Supreme.
Sit on the table and talk about what the issues, were, and then find compensations for them.
Okay, let's go to WhatsApp now. 0809 333 1069. That's where you send your voice note to on WhatsApp. Thank you.
Good morning, xl1069fm. My name is Emmanuel Efan from Mbo, Oruevo, calling here in Uyo. IG ala akori okode la.
Ala.
Community report made in them. The comments are big on time. That was Tuesday last week. Egedu, he visited St. Luke Hospital and he helped in clearing bills for patients who were done with their treatment and they did not have money to clear their bills. And St. Victor observed them out, paying their bills for them. Kudos to him. And also on the waterways in Bo, Oron, some years back, my father, the sea pirates, they collected my father's engine, and that leads to the man staying at home for years. And this December that just passed, the same thing happened to my senior brother. Please, my family need help from the government and also the security on the waterways. Thank you for having me, man. From Bo.
All right.
Ogori message IG message I'm sorry the Friday sans na be on Ibo. Concern that our street lines and border community report Mbok usang yan keep on Ibo. Don't kita do koita Mbok usang do yok abo message my complaints and then bo when you nang isa ba may say anything ba nyan based on that street light Mbok the TV I'm Mbok yes no me get make that is SA street light boy wo sang idam wo sang ado wi ngarang bay dang idang we dang ngabet this is sang That's the only thing in here. He will not be able to know you. I do your CS, and I'm talking to you know, I say that I'm walking. I say it's the best of now. Some of them, because putting out about bicycle more and more. You might come through, don't point it out because I have own bike. It's in boy, I expect you walk with you. That's why we come to street lights. You know, because I am Messiah Friday, sunset.
That's it, Biono. All right.
IG and the co-partner, Emesiero, Abasidi Ombo for go studio. Boying Miro, Wanabasi, Tensaratai, precisely Ward 7. Mbo, Okara Miedo, I will man am Jarafon. Am I saying for kids here? And I'm already on a worker for the HU. Mbok ya do ko mowo ke Ward 7 ya bong e deceive mowo ibo ke governor obo ya e good meeting we get endorse and if you ota agbodo na if you ota na m ja fon it governor igbi tere ti ibo ya e good meeting ya mo gbon e bi ya mowo ibo ke governor obo ya e good meeting governor e go do meeting ke you ward omo you go do meeting ke ward me federal house member at the right honorable market said you go to meeting, get what me commissioner. I did go get meeting, get water wood. We don't have any big man, get government enemy. Eddie Biang Mogum Bunker East and Ward 7. The governor will good meeting. Yeah, every week I get voted every other. Out of all the ward Kakwai state, Eddie could only get Ward 7. Yeah, more than Eddie Biang Mogo get Ward 7 is bigger than that. That's all IG Yapro. Boying Miro, Wanabasi, Tensaratai, precisely Ward 7.
All right, that's a Tensaratai Ward 7. My name is Mewo. I remember a conversation we had with Right Honorable S.M.A. Yibo, not too long ago, when he said, the stakeholders who are not allowing democracy to take place, to hold as it should be at the grassroots are part of the problem that we're having today. And the conversation further opened up to those who lie using the governor's name. Is it possible that this is one of the places, and the Senate President's name? Is it possible that this is one of the places? Zretai, Ward 7. Please let us know if you're from there and you know something or a position that might not be this particular one. You let us know too.
But name dropping is part of politics. Name dropping is part of politics, but it's to the extent of the names that you drop.
Good morning, IG and a goody. Mvana River State Abante Mvana PDP. It's a hand in hand. Because I'm running 2 leaders. Now Mr. A I was always waiting my Mr. A was always waiting my Mr. B. So I want to on Mr. B. I know I'm born. I'll be born on A. I want to on Mr. A. I'll be born on Mr. B. So I'm from Golfasero Bar. Same thing, get PDP. Money like a babanture. I want to really audio you would. That was in a Menitega, my Ewana. Boron, Eddie Goron Bombete. Second, I wonder, no more. A madam to the boss, they declare state of emergency. I want to meet on. Instead for them to sit down and seek for peace and development. My children, I'm the Bema country row. Good morning.
All right, let's quickly get another one here on WhatsApp.
My name is Goodness O'Connor, known as the Tigers Global. In my own community report this morning, is that sometimes people should not be calling on the state government on everything. There was once a sister radio station last week that one village head went to that radio station. They interviewed him, and this village head said that in his regime that he has put solar light in all his villages, and the people in that villages call on that radio to confirm that what the man say is true. So if a village head can put solar light in his village, Then what about councillors? What about local government chairman? Every time we are complaining about state government, we should hold our local government accountable, our councillors, our village head. There are some villages that have resources to take care of that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Another text here says, talking about the misappropriation of funds derived from subsidy removal and the FOI Act of 2011. Okay, that has not been specified yet, either way, as a misappropriation. Okay. You say, as it has to do with its full implementation and total adherence to by the political office holders or ministries and agencies for absolute transparency and accountability to take root. This litigation on the 31 local government chairman is going to be a stepping stone from the grassroots to the first tier of government on how our common patrimony is being expanded without commensurate infrastructural and economic development of our great nation. You say, cheers. All right. Good morning. It says, okay. All right. Let's quickly pull this one up. Good morning to you. Amesirende. Uragbo, go ahead. Okay.
From primary school, I would
Thank you very much. Appreciate your thoughts this morning. That from Ibiano, it's Ibiano Federal Constituency. All right, let's quickly take another video. You know, this one was sent in on WhatsApp. Quickly.
Safety of the people of a fiber say and Nigeria, that's so some of them go about the weapon. If they advise a law that they shouldn't be afraid to obey it, then if the state government say they should continue by registry so that they can control them and know, maybe give them numbers, give them that. It should also abide by the law. Because it's not good to just move around, because some of them, they enter support barrier and steal when certain people go out. So a lot of complaint comes to us that they steal. So it's better they register them and regulate their activities for the safety of the people of a fiber said and Nigeria. That's so some of them go about with weapons. So it's good to regulate. So we know what we're dealing with. Understand? We know who controls them. They should have leader in each of the zones that controls them. In case something happen in their zone.
Now, recent weeks have witnessed an intensified crackdown on illegal scrap businesses in Akwa Ibom State here. And of course, we understand it is a business you call iron condemn, right? And its operation in the state without necessary regulation from government. You've probably had your fair share of, concerns and complaints brought on board, right? And even until when we saw the government disband the unregulated scrap business in the state, we also saw a number of questions, from citizens as to why the government would go ahead and do that, why the government would disband the scrap dealers, knowing fully well that it is their source of living, right? It is how they get to make ends meet in the state. That's a reaction from just another citizen who says, look, as much as they need this to survive on their own end, it's important that it is done in the right ways. We saw a video as well not too long ago following an enforcement raid in the metropolis here. We saw AXEMA chairman, that Obon Princecum, say, look, as a government, we are still committed to sanitizing a sector, in this case, the iron condemn, right? That has gone against the state's cleanliness, that has gone against the state's safety and environmental standards. So we put all of this in view, right? I'm pretty sure you've got your reaction, you've got your thoughts on these particular concerns too. But in the longer run, how much is the benefit to Akwa Ibom State and how much is not? I'll let that to you and your thoughts. All right, we'll take a breather. When we come back, we'll talk about some new developments as it concerns the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board right here in Nigeria. We understand that and even the Nigerian government has been in the news yesterday too, following the announcement that candidates seeking admission to study education-related courses and agriculture programs outside engineering disciplines will no longer be required to sit for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, that is UTME. And we understand that that policy takes effect from the 2026-2027 admission cycle. One of it, and of course, JAMB is setting the cutoff mark for universities and polytechnic. That of polytechnics now we understand stands at 100. So if you can just do 100 in JAMB, you're now left in the hands of the polytechnics, right, to decide. All JAMB says for the universities, just do 150. 150. And then you go dig it out with your institution of choice. How good or at what detriment to the education system in Nigeria? Stay with us, Akwa Ibom.
106.9 Powered to XL.
Live from the heart of Uyo.
All right, let's hear it.
This is the Super Breakfast Show
On XL 106.9 FM.
106.9 FM.
Good morning. We're bringing you mornings like you've never heard.
More music, more news, more entertainment, and more fun. Weekdays from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m.
The XL Super Breakfast Show.
The XL Super Breakfast Show.
Only on XL 106.9 FM.
Wake up! Wake up! It's a new day. Let's go!
Are you ready?
Wake up! Wake up! It's a brand new day. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! This is where the energy lives. Wake up!
Where the conversations matter.
Where the hits keep coming non-stop.
Welcome to the XL Super Breakfast Show.
Your morning start right here. Wake up! Wake up!
Let's go! Radio made with love.
They say the holy water's watered down, and this town's lost its faith. Our colors will fade eventually, so if our time is running out, day after day, we'll make the mundane our masterpiece. Oh my love, I take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. You laying me down to the dead and buried on the edge of your knife, staying drunk in the ride. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground of the sanctuary. Shadow me with your touch, will not return me to dust. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found hopeless hallelujah on this side of heaven's gate. Oh my life, how do ya breathe and take my breath away? At your arms here I will pray. You're the smoke jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground, sanctuary. Trying to be where you talk, but glory turning it dust. The angels up in the clouds, I'm jealous knowing we found. You stepped inside with a vibe I ain't never seen. Yes, you did. Ooh, so girl, if you talk like you walk, come and talk to me. But look here, it would break my heart, break my heart, break my heart if I find out you can't move. You better show me now, show me now, show me now. Cause when I take it to the floor, ooh, you gotta get down. You know what to do. Hey, Mr. DJ, play a song of this pretty little lady. Cause if she dances good as she look right now, I just might make her my baby. I just might make her my baby. Hey, I just might. Oh, I just might. But first, may I just say that your face got me so intrigued. I'm so intrigued. But what good is beauty if you can't find a beat? I don't wanna know, girl. So please don't do that to me. Cause it would break my heart, break my heart, break my heart if I find out you can't move. You better show me now, show me now, show me now. Cause when I take it to the floor, ooh, you gotta get down. You know what to do. Hey, Mr. DJ, play a song of this pretty little lady. Cause if she dances good as she look right now, I just might make her my baby. I just might make her my baby. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's the part where you break it all the way down, 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 down. It's the part where I turn you all the way around, round, round, round. Put some spirit in it, put your heart into it, that's all I need. And if I like what I see, you're coming home with me. Hey, Mr. DJ, play a song for this pretty little lady. Cause if she dances good as she look right now, I just might make her my baby. I just might make her my baby. Hey, Mr. DJ, play a song for this pretty little lady. Cause if she dances good as she look right now, I just might make her my baby. I just might make her my baby. Hey, I just might. Oh, I just might.
We're bringing you mornings like you've never heard.
More music, more news, more entertainment, and more fun. Weekdays from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m.
The XL Super Breakfast Show.
The XL Super Breakfast Show.
Only on XL 106.9 FM. Live from the heart of Uyo.
All right, let's hear it.
This is the Super Breakfast Show.
On XL 106.9 FM.
106.9 FM.
over the years, results of which have engendered the trust and confidence in our admission system. We meet at a time when Nigeria education sector is undergoing deliberate and far-reaching reforms. These reforms are neither incidental nor cosmetic. They are rooted in a clear recognition that the future of our nation depends on the strength, integrity, relevance of our educational institution. In particular, the tertiary education subsector must rise to meet the demands of a rapidly changing world, one defined by technology advancement, global competition, and the imperative of skill-driven development. Over the past year, the federal government has focused on repositioning our tertiary education system to a coherent framework that addresses access, quality, governance, and accountability. At the heart of this effort lies a fundamental commitment that every qualified Nigerian should have a fair opportunity to pursue higher education, that such opportunity must be anchored on merit, transparency, and institutional integrity. One of the most consequential steps in this regard is the operationalization of the National Student Loan Scheme under the Nigeria Education Loan Fund. This initiative represents a major shift in how we approach access to higher education. For decades, financial constraints have constituted a significant barrier for many capable Nigerians with level of openness that reflects their public mandate. The requirement for institutions to publish key data ranging from student enrollment figures, including empirical data from JAB, that colleges of education possess significant capacity to admit willing candidates, particularly from their immediate localities. This is attributable to a range of factors, including proximity, cultural alignment, affordability, and community-based demand for teacher education. Harnessing this latent capacity is critical not only for expanding access, but for addressing persistent challenge of our out-of-school adolescents. At this point, I will announce a major structural but transformative change yet again in our education system. Accordingly, in recognition of this reality, the Federal Ministry of Education, in consultation with relevant stakeholders, has taken a deliberate policy position. Accordingly, candidates seeking admission into the NCE program who possess a minimum of 4 credits will no longer be required to sit for the UTME. However, it is imperative to emphasize that such candidates shall mandatorily register with JAMB and their credentials shall be duly screened.
And that's part of the address made by the Minister of Education, Mr. Tunja Lausa, yesterday. Candidates seeking admission into Nigeria Certificate in Education programs, that is the one we call NCE, in colleges of education will no longer be required to sit for Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. Like you heard him say, Under the new guidelines, prospective student will only need a minimum of 4 O-level credits in school certificate to qualify for admission. He's also said that it is important to emphasize that such candidates shall mandatorily register with JAMB, and their credentials shall be duly screened, verified, and certified for the issuance of admission letters through, CAPS, in accordance with extant regulations. Right? We also understand that, according to him, the move is designed to ease the administrative burden on the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board in the bid to harness the positive orientation towards the teaching profession. Right? In the same vein, the exemption, we understand, shall extend to candidates seeking admission into national diploma programs in non-technology, agricultural, and agriculture-related courses, with the policy taking effect from next year. All of this made part of the development at the JAMB National Policy Meeting, right, which was held yesterday. Right, so now about two concerns are in focus. And we slow this down carefully, because what happened at the policy meeting is not just another routine kind of announcement. One of the biggest shifts, you might say, in the tertiary education structure in recent years. And many Nigerians, some, right, have applauded, while some others have said, look, this is not looking good. Right? On the other hand, you have the federal government saying some student will no longer need the UTME before entering tertiary institutions, right? And now universities can admit from as low as 150. That's regarding the JAMB score. Polytechnics can now admit from 100, right? And teaching and agriculture are now receiving special policy consideration. Then we now see that this is no longer simply about JAMB, right? We're now talking about the future of education in Nigeria here, the condition of Nigeria's workforce here. We're talking the crisis in teacher recruitment, the collapse of interest in agriculture, right? And even access to tertiary education. There's also been in recent time conversations about the quantity and quality of the Nigerian education system in the country, which is or might make one of the many reasons you see a number of Nigerians applaud this particular development, right? So we want to make sense of it briefly this morning, and your thoughts as well are pretty much welcome to the conversation. Let's know what your thoughts are about this. All right, you can do that via WhatsApp at 0809 333 1069. That is 0809 333 1069. And of course, you can call the phone lines 0700 000 1069 or 0809 222 1069. So before now, almost every student, right? If you were seeking admission into a Nigerian tertiary institution, you had to pass through one central gate, that is the UTME. And that examination became the dominant admission. It's called the filter in Nigeria, right? No matter how intelligent you were, no matter your WAEC results, no matter your school background, you had to sit for JAM. But now there are some exceptions. That's what this policy simply means. If you want to study education courses or certain agriculture-related courses outside engineering, though, you may no longer need to write JAM before gaining admission into colleges of education and some related programs there. The government says you must, if you've got at least 4 credit passes now, you can proceed through another pathway, right? Though you must register with JAM for documentation, of course, and verification through CAPS. Right? Now, it might sound, simple. But if you look deeper, it's a huge policy signal, because Government only relax entry barriers when they are trying to solve a deeper problem. If you agree with me, a systemic problem at that, right? The question might now become, what really is the country trying to fix right now? Right? So we might just be revisiting our reality of a teacher shortage. That crisis is still on in the country. We're talking about a declining interest in teacher education here in the country. And manpower concerns in agriculture is not left out of this conversation, because if enough young Nigerians are naturally rushing to become teachers, and agricultural professionals, government might not necessarily need to create special admission pathways to attract more entrants. Or don't you think so? So beneath this development, there is a serious national concern. Fewer people may be willing to enter these sectors, and that should worry, because no country develops beyond the quality of its teachers and the productivity of its agricultural system. For decades in the country here, you would agree with me, teaching here in Nigeria has suffered gradual social decline. Once upon a time, oh good times indeed, teachers commanded enormous respect in the society. You often have conversations situate teachers as intellectually important, as socially dignified, in some sense, morally dignified or influential. But over time, what do the teachers have to grapple with? Poor salaries, we're talking delayed promotions, weak welfare, overcrowded classrooms, and even poor infrastructure. Now, these concerns have gradually reduced the attractiveness of that profession, if you agree with me. So you compare that with today's youth aspirations, right? Most young Nigerians precisely now want tech, medicine, law, finance, and even in some cases, migration opportunities. Some are even tilting towards remote jobs today. Very few young people would probably say, I want to become a teacher today. That is the real crisis government may be responding to in this particular development. And if fewer bright young Nigerians, enter teacher training, it's even more worrisome if we have a few, right? A few bright ones decide to enter the profession. The damage spreads nationwide, because we'll be looking at weaker teachers, we'll be looking at weaker primary education, we'll be looking at weaker secondary education, weaker university entrants. What about national productivity? So the policy doesn't and should not be taken as one that just comes off as random. Maybe it's safe to situate it as an interventionist policy. Fine. Because we have the government now trying to reopen the pipeline into teacher education by that policy. I wonder though, Cody, would it be fair to say that this policy is not merely an admission reform, but actually a manpower rescue? A strategy for sectors that government fears may become critically understaffed in the future.
Well, yes, you've said it all. You recall when the last time that the College of Education in Akwa Ibom State announced an opening announced its matriculation, you figured that the number of people that registered for NCE courses, education courses, were disturbingly low. And so when the minister came up yesterday to announce that candidates who are seeking admission into NCE, that's the Nigerian Certificate in Education programs across colleges, will no longer need to sit for the UTME. I took it as a breath of fresh air, because if you take a walk across schools in Akwa Ibom State, the other day the Commissioner for Education started that. So shortly after I was appointed, as commissioner, Professor Obong Omo, he took a walk to schools. His job at the time, or his target, was to identify the quality of schools in terms of facilities, environment, teacher quality, the care that is given to students or to pupils, and all of that. We don't know why that policy was not sustained or if it was concluded, but we haven't heard anymore. But we saw the pictures and the stories that emanated from those trips, that children are fed with very substandard quality of care in terms of infrastructure and what they get from their teachers. And that's because schools, the mushroom schools that we have now, don't they tend, or they say they don't have the financial muscle to employ qualified teachers. And so they go for untrained teachers, core members who just graduated, people who just finished university waiting to be enrolled into the NYSC, that are looking for a quick buck, but they want to be organized. They don't want to go the illegal way. They want to make legal money. They're interested in teaching. They recruit them. And so once it's time for NYSC enrollments, they leave. Say 6 months, 1 year, they leave. They have core members. They jostle for core members. You have them come, they take up from class 1 to class 6, and they are teaching absolute, so at the end of the day, the kids are fed half-baked education, because the people teaching them don't even understand the subjects enough to reproduce and teach them. And so this hit me as, oh well, rescue for primary and secondary education. Teachers that go through this process, I remember back then when I was in school, my school used to recruit, and they had a benchmark. You must first have the NCE, and then you must show evidence that you have practiced over time. You'll be subjected to some level of probation. You teach, and then the school management called a few of us and asked, do you understand? How do you rate this person's teaching? How do you rate this care to you? Level of assimilation, level of accessibility, because you are taught these things at NCE. So I believe that the removal of the requirement that everybody who wants to become a teacher must sit for UTME when you're not going to the university is like a blockade that has been removed to make the NCE program more attractive. So let's hope that while we wait for more people to get killed, more people would want to go into or take up the NCE program, go through it, graduate, and teach. The teaching profession is becoming very unattractive in Nigeria. And what do we blame it on? The economy. Somehow, the government has failed to pay attention to that. And now it's a policy that is taking effect in 2027 in Akwa Ibom State. We see that the administration of Governor Emmanuel Omoino is already building model schools, and they come with staff quarters. If we have this replicated, like it's doing in the health sector, model primary health centers that come with staff quarters. If we have schools, primary schools, model type with staff quarters replicated across each local government area, then we can now mandate the local government council chairman to replicate it too across every community, as it used to be. Back in the day, you dare not walk into a school, you find an expanse, right? And then they say this side is staff quarters. This side is dormitory for students and pupils who want to stay in the hostel. It was there. Now, those schools are nothing to write home about. So it is high time that, good thing that this administration had the foresight and had begun that revamping in that aspect. We should be able to launch in, catching on this this new policy of the federal government and see how many people can be enrolled on the NCE program at the College of Education. Now, let me also add, I know that I am not a scholar in the rights of people that are working the College of Education people. I'm not a member of the House of Assembly, but I don't see the need of eroding what the College of Education is as we speak in the name of upgrading it. We upgraded Akwa Ibom State University from a university of technology, which was situated in Padenin for a specific purpose. We go back to the records. The then Governor Obong Victor Otta instituted that school to be technology, marine technology, to support the maritime academy, right? Because and I see the situation in Eastern Obolo in Padenin serving the riverine. So if you need anything marine technology,
you go there.
You should stop there. It should have been a one-stop university in Nigeria, university for marine technology, but we upgraded it to a regular university. Now AXU is a regular university where staff every other day are striking because of lack of payment of salary. We should not fall into that same pit in the name of regular university. Now the federal government has done something for us, the Buhari administration, that awarded us with the Federal University of Technology, FUTIA. In Ikorobasi. Perhaps that also would cover for the loss of the Akwa Ibom State University of Technology that was planned for. But let us not make that mistake again and attempt to upgrade the College of Education to a regular. What have we gained from the many regular universities that we have? Let us go specialized. The skills now should be specialized. Keep the College of Education as it is. Jump on this policy that the federal government has made and train more teachers with the requisite capacity to teach our children. We are losing a lot. I think our generation is the last of a dying breed.
Now I wonder if that would be what would be needed too in agriculture, because we know that agriculture related sectors or courses now are also receiving this waiver, right? And you want to situate that in what Nigeria is battling today. We're talking food inflation, we're talking declining agricultural productivity, we're talking insecurity affecting farming, we're talking rural poverty, right? And we have Nigeria constantly say agriculture is the future, but still we have many young people, many young Nigerians who do not want careers in agriculture, right? Because you see, many still associate agriculture today in Nigeria with hardship, with rural struggle, with lack of mechanization, with low profitability. So if you have this in focus and you have the government trying to deliberately increase enrollment into agricultural programs, one would say, fine direction to go. But there is another important question that emerges. Is easier admission enough to waive or revive the agricultural sector in the country today?
Well, we've asked and answered this question time and again. When you look at the regular admission, the regular admission is the regular courses. Some people say that there is a different cutoff mark for the north and another one for the south. I don't think there is an official position on that. Officially, there is a different cutoff mark. It's just that these different sections understand education differently. They value education differently. And so their approach to education and the process would be different. So when you find Northerners, as although we get stories that the terrorists, the Boko Haram, they say they are against Western education. We know that some of the best brains from the north, are well educated, And some of the best schools in Nigeria are in the north. All right? You cannot mention universities in terms of class standard, quality, infrastructure, and all of that, and you fail to cite the north. For instance, the ABU areas of this world, the University of Maiduguri, these are northern schools, and the standard has remained, over time. The governments there understand education differently. They invest in it so much so that they value they value the proceeds of education. That we have a professor as the governor of Borno State. They value the proceeds of education so much that we have a professor, right, leading the All Progressives Congress in Nigeria. I'm just saying that the North and the South, they have a different understanding of education. But back to the question of whether it is important to crash the cutoff mark, the cutoff point, or the requirements, do some waivers just to. I believe that these are critical sectors that are dying. That are dying right under our noses. And drastic times, like they say, drastic measures. Agriculture has been unattractive for a while in Nigeria, and we only get to practice the subsistence farming. This is a country that is looking for ways to get back to agriculture as it were in the olden days. And agriculture, I was born to hear that agriculture was the mainstay of Nigerian economy, until we mistakenly stumbled on oil.
The oil boom.
And then we abandoned agriculture. And now we are getting back to the days. I mean, agriculture was so big that the Dangotes of this world, that the entire lineage of the Dangote thrived on agriculture with the groundnut pyramids and the rice pyramids and all that. We need to get back there. So having to crash the cutoff requirements for people to enroll and study agriculture, study it as a course, become a professional in it, then you can hold people's hands and set up research institutes. Perhaps this is the opportunity to have research institutes to go into forest. Professor Edemenyang, the wildlife scientist, he's been here a dozen times, and he says that Nigeria does not pay attention to research because the culture is not there. All right? The culture is not there. So perhaps this is the opportunity, the step that the federal government is taking to ensure that people get professional with some things. Perhaps if you sit 4 years and get a deeper understanding of it, you can, from your class, form a research club where you research on agriculture, you research on what to do to make what and what. And this GMO thing, it's a function of research. How come Nigeria is struggling with come up with something in that direction in agriculture? This, to me, is could be a step in the direction to make these things more attractive.
Well, about that,
people.
Not too long ago, we had the government approve an initiative. That's the National Research and Innovation Development Fund, with the aim to invest up to $500 million annually in research, in science, and in technology. We understand that fund is also aimed at driving a $1 trillion economy, which should support competitive grants, commercialization, supervised, of course, by the Ministry of Innovation, Science, and Technology. All right? That's just one other way the government is working around it.
Good morning, IG. Once again, my name is Gunis Okono, known as the Tigers Global. I don't have any problem with educational system here in Nigeria, but the only problem I'm having is that them approving that a 16 years child can have admission to a university from 16 years. IG, what will a 16 years child go and do in a university? Before you know, if the child have a study of 4 years, before you know, at the age of 20 to 21, he has done with school, and he come out in the society calling himself a graduate, and he cannot even have that confidence of standing that he's a graduate. What are we producing to the society? Oh my God.
Well, 16 years has never been an issue in Nigeria. It only became that popular and caused so much controversy because the minister at the time announced it. The minister only re-echoed what is law already. 16 years has always been there. It's always been law.
Well, you see, there's just a bit of shift here, because I know there's been argument far apart this one, and it has been along the line of, if my child is intelligent enough to pass, JAMB at 14 or even 15, why should the government stop the child from advancing?
A colleague, not a colleague, she was in law. She finished law, the program, at 19, while we were waiting for 22.
We've got to wrap up now, Cody. Thank you very much for your insight this morning, and we trust and believe that these policies provide the needed results, desired results for our country. All right, Aquabum State, that's how much we can take on the Super Breakfast Show today. Do have a wonderful day today. Good morning.
106.9 powered to XL. Please.